video on when your situation is very, very heated. So let's say you are in a heated situation, you're just pissed off, and you lose your cool. And when this happens, I swear, later on, I always be like, dang, like, oh my god, because if we don't, okay, to go, I don't want to go all the way there, but losing your cool is just not, it's third dimensional, you know what I'm saying? And I understand that better now because it's just about knowing that you are um, over a situation, but by consciousness. Like it's easy to when you are. I'll say it like this: when you are awakened and you are conscious in a in something you're working on, then you should be able to. I shouldn't say should, but I would. In my journey, it's pushing me towards not being so snapbacky. So, and I'm learning that if you fight a situation with positivity, it kind of like simmers down the situation a lot. Um, because simply the best story is my own story, and it's with, my parents, and literally me and my dad would fight and we just go at it and we'll just, I'm a rapper, so I'm good, shit talker for sure, and he is too. I think that's pretty much where I get it from. But um, after I started, being awakened and understanding that the forgiving with no reason, which was really really hard. I mean, mind looks at you like, "What are you talking about? You, do you remember what they said?" And I know, and I'm so the mind is just not with it. So it's really hard to get past the mind. So you have to, dig deep in there and do this without reason. And within doing that, I accepted the things that, there is no helping neither situation with just giving it the fight of till the end. It just gets nowhere. But because I killed it with positivity more than once, it took a few times, and then it becomes noticeably. I mean, it was noticeable to my dad. He told it to me like, well, so he was able to execute this finally. But the reason why is because he's seen me do it. So like, you know, when you're trying to tell somebody something that you never done or they never seen you do, then it's always going to be harder for them to intake that information. But if they seen you do it and they seen the change in happening, numerous times at that, then there's no doubt that they're going to be like, well, I did, see you do it, and I see how it works, because it works just so much more better, so much more peacefuler, and just it's crazy how I won that. And it was hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard because I was like, he was pushing all the buttons that, calling me all the worst things that, you can, say to me that would really hurt my feelings and make me start going in. But, I was like, I'm not going to do that. And I just, I was like, I just put my hands up and I was like, I'm just sorry you feel like that. And I was just like, I'm sorry you feel like that. He even started, going towards me like, yeah, he just tried to do it again. And I just moved back like, I'm sorry. And in front of, it was very a victory moment for me and for the family and for him, because when I say that he's much better, I mean, of course he masters everything he does, so he could probably turn around and teach me how to do this better than I am doing it, because um, he is a great understander. So it's just, it worked, and the ricochet is so deep. The ricochet is so deep. So it meant everything to me for him to tell me that when the time had came up to talk about it, or for me to try to, talk him into, it was an argument, and I had to talk him into basically giving up this argument and just like submitfully, like, taking a bow to this, and it was hard for me to do, but I did it. So at the end of the day, it's about being the more powerful one and being able to either, what I'm saying, at that moment, stop fighting, not necessarily lose the fight, but just stop fighting. Just agree if that's what you have to do, or whatever it is that you need to do. You just have to stop fighting, and the best way to do that is agree. If it's not going to kill anybody, and it's just going to get worse, then you can just agree. And what's so wrong with agreeing this one time? And I'm saying this to the people who flip out. So you can't be like, well, if I agree every time, okay? Because this video is not for the people who agree every time. This is for the people who flip out, like I do, like I did, and I still do. And sometimes I can't help it, and I'm just like, and it's here or there, but I'm working on it, So more so with arguments that can be settled with smartness. What you do is you challenge yourself to you challenge yourself to see if you can do this. You know what I'm saying? Challenge yourself to see, like, okay, if I can, like, I challenge myself to get along with one of the people, with somebody who's very hard for me to get along with. Okay, like, very, very hard. And I did it, but it didn't last for too long. But still, it was a little challenge for me to do it. And I definitely, it was hard, but I did it. And I seen that it wasn't that bad for me to give in and just give up the fight. It wasn't that bad. And to have everybody happy in their own way, because you don't have this, your ego sitting up here like fighting with everybody, then you should have a lot of friends or people, that just are good with you and not just bad with you, even if you don't hang out with them every day. You just want to be in good terms. So I'm not gonna not be in good terms because of my ego, and it makes you switch timelines. So then now, as you could have ended that situation good and had this person as a friend, you don't know what could happen in that future. Now there's no future like that, and you don't know what you could have missed in that timeline. And if you kept the same attitude, then it would have been something good. So it's more so like, can you, kind of like they do it on Love and Hip Hop, can you make up with all of your situations that you are in that have people either mad at you or you're mad at? And then when you do get there and you over the top it and you need to just calm down, this little song that I made called 123 is a really cool song that just came out of nowhere. So just doing what I feel. And so let's see how that sounds. So it's called 123, and so before we start the 123 song, you have to make sure you're breathing with like a few deep breaths in, and always understand it's like to try to give up fighting. Like, try to give up fighting. Just give up fighting. Turn nice to the nice grandma, yes, whatever you want right now, like, turn into that person who gets ran over all the time. Just turn to them for like 2 minutes. I swear it's so much better than pushing fights till you just can't no more. And it's just about being mature enough to put your ego to the side Because the only time that you really care about what somebody has to say about you right then and there is when you don't know where you're going. So you might not know where you're going, and then it's going to be impossible to put your ego to the side because you don't know where you're going. So, for you right then and there is everything. Like everything they think of you right now is everything because you don't have no plan on what you're doing. So, like with me, I could be like, yeah, I can have them thinking I'm a bum from California. All I give a fuck, okay, because I got a plan, and boom. And it doesn't matter if you're losing or winning. I don't say that because I lost a lot, but I just say that. I say that because of that too. But it's a matter of just doing. What do I say? It doesn't matter if you winning or you're losing, as long as you're the I did, not the no. It doesn't matter if you're losing or you're winning, as long as you're the I did, not the I didn't. You feel me? So, what have we learned here? I hate this here because it sticks up at the top. Shoot, ass, go ahead.